So hello everyone. So today we are going to start a new series for the EmSAT exam preparation. So what we are going to do is we are going to pick up the 10 most relevant questions from a topic and we are going to solve that in our video. In the future we will also be solving some past papers that will help in your EmSAT exam preparation. So since we are beginning today only, we will be starting with the foundational algebra math questions. This will be an easy session because it's the beginning. So it's the math foundation, which is the topic of today. And let's start solving these questions. So let's come to our very first question. This question, where we are asked to simplify this expression 3x plus 5x minus 2x. 3x plus 5x minus 2x. So it's a simple addition and subtraction question as of now. Don't worry, it's easy because it's the foundation, it's the very first chapter. We will be dealing with more questions in the future, which will be up to the mark. So this is a simple question. Most of you can answer that without any problem. So it's because since the variables here are the same, we can simply add and subtract them as per the rules of board mass. So it's 3x plus 5x. What's 3 plus 5? It's 8, right? So it becomes 8x minus 2x. Now what's 8 minus 2? It's 6. So our final answer is actually 6x, which is option B. Quite easy, right? Now let's move on to the second question. We have to solve for the value of x. The equation has been given, which is 2x plus 7 equals to 15. So let's write down the equation. 2x plus 7 is equals to 15. So how do we solve this question? We have to find out the value of x, right? So since we are having 7 over here, right? So let's send this 7 to our right hand side. Now how do I send this 7 to the right hand side? Oh, well, there's a way. We can subtract 7 from both the sides. So let's subtract 7 from here and let's subtract 7 from here. Okay, so what we are left with, 2x plus 7 minus 7 on the left hand side. Plus 7 and minus 7 becomes 0. So we are left with only 2x on the left hand side. On the right hand side, we had 15 minus 7. What's 15 minus 7? It's 8, right? Now, we have got 2x is equals to 8. Now let's divide both the sides with 2. So you can divide both the sides with 2, right? Now these two 2's cancels out. Yeah, so we are left with only x on the left hand side, and here we had 8 over 2. What's 8 divided by 2? Just 4. So the value of x is 4, which is option B. Now coming to the third question. Factor the quadratic expression x squared minus 5x plus 6. Okay, so let's write down the expression first. X squared minus 5x plus 6. Now, when we go ahead to factorize a quadratic expression, what is our first task? Our first task is to split the middle term. We have to split the middle term in such a way that their multiplication is equal to the multiplication of the first and the last term. So our last term is 6 and our first term is x squared. What is the multiplication? 6 times x squared, right? 6x squared. So we have to split the middle term, which is minus 5x, right? In such a way that when we split it into two terms, so maybe I split the minus 5x as ax plus bx, okay? Then this multiplication of ax and bx should be equals to 6x squared, okay? So now think of how can we split our minus 5. We can split our minus 5 as minus 4x minus x, isn't it? Now when we multiply these two terms, minus 4x and minus x, we get 4x squared, right? Which is not what we desire. We desire first 6x squared. Now let's do another thing. Let's do minus 3x and minus 2x, okay, which is again 5x, adding up to 5x. Now if we multiply these two, minus 3x multiplied with minus 2x, we are getting exactly 6x squared. This is what we desired, right? So we should be splitting our middle term in minus 3x and minus 2x. So let's split it up. Minus 3x minus 2x plus 6, right? It's still the same, right? But we have split it up so that we can factorize it. Now we can take commons. You see, there is some common between x squared and minus 3x. X is the common thing. So let's take x out, okay? Now we can write it as x minus 3, isn't it? Similarly, over here we can take something common. Let's take minus 2 common. Okay, let's take minus 2 common. So we can write x, so that minus 2 multiplied with x gives you minus 2x, right? Now we have to get a 6, right? So what should we multiply minus 2 with in order to get 6? Obviously it's minus 3, right? So we get this. Now x minus 3 is the common thing, right? X minus 3 is the common thing in both of these. So we can take out x minus 3 as common, right? We can take x minus 3 as common, and we can see what should we multiply x minus 3 with. We can multiply it with x, and we have to multiply it with minus 2, right? So this is it. So our expression becomes x minus 3 multiplied with x minus 2, which is our option C. Hence, option C is the correct option. Now, let's go ahead to question number 4. Use the distributive property to expand this. Easy question, right? We just have to do a simple multiplication where we have to expand this term. 4 multiplied with 2x minus 3. Now, what's the distributive property? You basically have to distribute this 4 over these two terms, right? Okay, it's called the distributive property. So when we multiply 4 with 2x, 4 times 2x, we get 8x. Now we have to multiply this 4 with minus 3. 4 multiplied with minus 3, it's minus 12. So we will be getting 8x minus 12, which is our option number A, right? So A is the correct answer. Now coming to question number 5, we have to solve for the value of x. What is the equation? 5x minus 3 is equals to 2x plus 9. Okay, this is the equation that's been given. Okay, so in whenever we have to solve a linear equation in one variable, we have to put x on one side and we have to put the rest of the numbers on the other. Okay, in order to put the terms with x on one side, we have to make this 2 go here, right? And we have to make this minus 3 on this side, right? Now when we basically do the shiftings, we basically change sign. That's a simple rule of thumb. So when we send this 2x on here, what we will be having on the left hand side is minus 2x. So after sending 2x on the left hand side, I'm gonna get minus 2x over here, right? And this should be equals to 9. Okay, now since we need only the x terms on the left hand side, we should be sending this 3 to the right hand side, right? Now what was our thumb rule? When we send something from one side to the other, we change its sign. The positive sign becomes negative and the negative sign becomes positive. And similarly, the division becomes multiplication and multiplication becomes division. As of now, since we are sending the minus 3 to the other side, it will be becoming plus 3 on the other side. So our equation will become 5x minus 2x, and since we have sent this 3 over here, so it's 9 plus 3. Okay, 9 plus 3. Now 9 plus 3 is equals to 12, and 5x minus 2x will give you 3x. Okay, now we can divide both the sides with 3. Okay, we can divide both the sides with 3, and when after dividing, we'll be having something like this. This 3 and this 3 can cancel each other out. So x is equals to 12 over 3, or 12 divided by 3. Now this will give you 4, right? Hence 4 is the correct option. Now coming to question number 6, we have to simplify the fraction. Quite easy question. So we have got 4x squared divided by 2 times x. We can expand it and write it as 4 multiplied with x multiplied with x, right? 4x squared is 4 multiplied with x multiplied with x, whereas 2x is actually 2 multiplied with x, right? And when we have numerator over denominator, where the terms of numerator are in complete multiplication, we can cancel out the terms with a common factor. So this x cancels out this x. Now when we are canceling it out, we have to make a condition that x should not be equals to 0. That is already understood, because if they are giving you expression like this, it means the denominator is not 0, because when you divide something by 0, it will become undefined. So it's already understood that x is not 0. So you don't need to worry about this, that we have to set a condition, because we are canceling out the terms. Now what we are left with is 4 times multiplied with x divided by 2. Now 2 and 4 can cancel each other out because 2 divides 4. 2 multiplied with 2 is 4, right? So we are left with 2 multiplied with x in the numerator, and we are left with 1 in the denominator because it's 1 multiplied with 1, which is 1. So our final answer is going to be 2 multiplied with x, 2x. Hence our answer is option A. Now let's move to the question number 7. So we in this question we have to evaluate this expression for x is equals to 2. So we just have to put the value of x and find out the value of the expression. So what is the expression? It's 3x squared plus 2x minus 5. So instead of x we are going to substitute 2. So it becomes 3 times 2 squared plus 2 times 2 minus 5. Okay, so what's 2 squared? 2 squared is 4, so it ultimately becomes 3 times 4 plus 2 multiplied with 2 minus 5. 3 times 4 is 12 plus 2 multiplied with 2 is 4, and there is minus 5. 12 plus 4, it's 16 minus 5, which gives you 11. Okay, so option B is the correct option over here. Now moving ahead to question number 8. So the expression 5x plus 2 over x minus 2 is undefined for what value of x? So we have to find out the value of x for which this expression becomes undefined. So what is our expression? 5x plus 2 divided by x minus 2. So the only way this expression can become undefined is when the denominator becomes equals to 0. We already have discussed that the denominator should not be equals to 0 because dividing by 0 is not a thing in maths. Okay, you can't divide with 0. So it becomes undefined when this value is equals to 0. When it becomes undefined when the denominator, which is x minus 2, it becomes equals to 0. So the value of x for which it becomes undefined is 2, right? When you send 2 to the other side, we get x as equals to 2. So option A is the correct answer, the value of x for which the expression is undefined. Now moving ahead to the question number 9. Which of the following is a rational number? What's a rational number? Any number which can be written in the form of p over q, where p and q are integers and q is not equals to 0, is a rational number. So can square root of 2 be written in the form of p over q? The answer is no. Why? Because square root of 2 gives you a non-recurring and a non-terminating decimal expansion. So you can keep on finding out the value of square root of 2. You can keep on writing down the decimal values and it will keep on going. It won't repeat itself and it won't terminate. So square root of 2 is actually an irrational number. Similarly, pi, it's a very famous irrational number. Over here we see a number which is of the form p over q, where p and q are both integers. 3 and 4 are integers and the denominator is not 0. So it's obviously the correct answer, which is it's a rational number. Now let's discuss the fourth option. What is this? E. It's actually the Euler's number. Okay, and its value is something around 2.71 and something, and goes on like this. Okay, and it's also an irrational number, just like pi is an irrational number. Now moving ahead to our last question. So we have to solve the system of equations. So we are given two equations, x plus y is equals to 5 and 2x minus y is equals to 1. So these are the two equations that's been given to us. Now in order to form a system of equations, we can be following two or three methods. So the famous ones are the method of substitution and the method of elimination. And we use this based on the question. Sometimes solving a question with elimination is easier, and sometimes solving a question using substitution is easier. So over here, what's easier? It's completely up to you however you want to solve it. So I'm gonna use elimination over here. Why? Because I see a plus y and I see a minus y, so I can simply add these two equations up and I can eliminate y. So let's add these two equations. So we get x plus 2x and we get plus y minus y on the left hand side, and on the right hand side I get 5 plus 1, right? So plus y and minus y cancels out, so we get x plus 2x, which is 3x, is equals to 5 plus 1, which is equals to 6. So over here we can divide both the sides with 3. Okay, now 3 and 3 cancels out, we get x is equals to 6 over 3, which means x is equals to 2. So the value of x is equals to 2. Now, in order to find out the value of y, I can substitute the value of x in any of the equations. So, if I substitute in the first equation, I get 2 plus y is equals to 5, which means y is equals to 5 minus 2, which gives us y as the value of 3. Okay, so the value of y is 3. X is equals to 2 and y is equals to 3. Which option is it? It's the option first. Hence, this is our correct answer. Okay, so these are the 10 basic foundation level maths question that we have done today. In the upcoming videos we will be solving more questions which will be even tougher and which will be even more fit for the EmSAT exam preparation. So see you in the next video. Thank you.